Humans are awesomely clever, right? We've colonised the world, manipulated our environment, developed incredible technology, and can even make brilliant science radio shows, just like this one. And it's all thanks to the squishy grey stuff in our skulls, our brains. It's often said that humans have unusually big brains, which explains our exceptional intelligence. But it turns out that may not strictly be true. The first argument against brain size being proportional to intelligence comes from animals like whales and elephants, which have brains that are much larger than ours. And although they're not stupid, I don't see them inventing smartphones or writing novels anytime soon. So it's not just about absolute size. But what about relative size to the rest of the body? Compared to our primate relatives, human brains are certainly larger than might be expected. Our brains contain roughly 86 billion neurons. That's roughly 12 times the number of nerve cells in a macaque brain, yet we're only 8 or so times bigger than a macaque. So for a long time this was suggested as an explanation for our superior intelligence. But animals like mice and dolphins have similar brain-to-body ratios. And again, although they're far from dumb, it's hard to argue that they're as intelligent as humans. And birds also do relatively well out of this kind of calculation. So maybe bird-brained isn't the insult we think it is. Another problem in drawing a direct link between brain size and intelligence comes from looking back at our hominid ancestors. One of the furthest branches on our human family tree, Homo habilis, had a brain with a volume of around 600 cubic centimetres, while Neanderthals clocked in with an impressive 1,600 cubic centimetres. Surprisingly, our modern human brains are actually smaller than they were tens of thousands of years ago, an average of 1,440 cubic centimetres in modern human males and around 1,330 for women. Just to bust another myth here, that doesn't support the idea that men are more intelligent than women just because they have bigger brains. All the research done in this area draws only modest correlations between brain size and smartness, and there are many other factors at play. And, as research with London cab drivers has shown, the brain is incredibly plastic. As the cabbies undertake the intense route learning required to pass the infamous knowledge exam, they have measurable changes in the structure and volume of the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning, known as the hippocampus. What's more, human brains are built differently from those of other primates and mammals. We've evolved a hugely expanded cerebral cortex. That's the front bit used for thought and language, with a lot of adaptations that are unique to our own species. But it's also about how all our brain cells are wired up. And researchers are now focusing on the number and type of connections between nerve cells, something known as the connectome, rather than the number of cells themselves. So it's not just size, it's what you do with it that counts.